Vicky goes on and on with Vicky Stokes and James Wells. Today we're going to talk about etiquette, and I'm going to mostly talk about etiquette in a way that is about social norms and protocols and civility, because etiquette as a topic is very class based and is not what I'm interested in right this second. I don't think, but it might come up. So, like the whole what fork to use, who gives a fuck? I don't care. And because with if you sit down to eat at a proper dinner table, and you use the wrong fork, I'm not going to judge you for it. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. And I know that you're supposed to go from the outside in for the place settings, but like, really, does it matter? Is the world going to end because you used a dessert fork for your main?
So,
Not interested.
do you think etiquette is just a kind of curtain for allowing snobbery, shall we say?
I don't even think it's a curtain for allowing snobbery, but I think that's a really good way of putting it. I think it's a test. It's a test to see what class you fall into. So,
Right.
do you pass the test? Right?
Right.
Now, here's my problem with that is, bitch, I can pass that test.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I don't want to.
I'm not posh.
Yeah.
You know, so I once went to a very fucking fancy meal, and I did look up the etiquette for it because I didn't want to let my friend down more than anything. But I passed the test, and then but then you get asked questions. What school did you go to? And what school did your father go to? And I knew that those answers weren't going to pass muster.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there are a couple of surnames, for example, in England anyway, where they um do not look like what they should look like. So there's one famously that's like it's pronounced Fanshawe, but
Hmm.
it's but the actual spelling is like Fotherington, and those sorts of
Wow.
things. Yeah. And those sorts of things are just what's called shibboleth. So a shibboleth is an expression that you would know. It's like an idiom or a pronunciation that only native speakers would know. So they would use these a lot in the Second World War with spies and things.
Okay.
Where uh, for example, you know the town Bicester or
Yes.
Toaster?
Is that the one in? Are we talking Oxford way? Are we?
Well, I actually don't know. All I know is it's spelled Bicester.
Yes, I think we are talking
Yeah,
about the summer.
yeah. And then there's Toaster, which is spelled Towcester
Mm.
or Towcester. Um, but there are certain expressions, and there are certain idiomatic things, ticks, if you like,
Yeah.
that give the game away. So, for example, if you are a native English speaker,
Mm.
you will say and ah and oh, right? But if you are a native French speaker, for example, you will have a different pause.
Okay.
And you may not have an accent. like because you're a spy or something and you've trained yourself out of that. But there are certain ticks, certain linguistic ticks that will give the game away. And that's the point with that sort of classist etiquette. It gives the game away. And in Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar, I don't know if you've read it, but there's a bit where the protagonist, are you being texted?
Oh, sorry, someone's someone texted me. I didn't text them. So
how dare they?
What bad etiquette while we're having a conversation.
Such bad etiquette. There's a
part I say
in...
etiquette. You say etiquette. Etiquette.
Yeah,
etiquette. Yeah. So sorry, continue.
Yeah. I don't know. Etiquette.
Etiquette.
I don't know. I've got a funny accent. I don't know what.
It's one of them words that the more you say it, the more it loses meaning. You're like, is this even a word?
Well, all words do that. Let me tell you that for nothing.
Yeah.
I once had a right problem with the word "r," like.
What is a new R?
Yours and mine.
Our.
Yeah.
Our.
But like the more and more I said it, the more and more it didn't sound like a word.
Right.
And then my friend Kel had a right problem with the name Mark, and she was like, Mark. That can't be a name. Mark. So we looked a bit mad in the cafe, but there you go. It's just what happens, isn't it? So what was my fucking point? See, this is the problem. You fucking text somebody. Yeah, so that's one thing with etiquette, right? And that's the sort of etiquette that I have no sway with. And in Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar, there's a thing where she says she, in the very beginning of the novel, she's a teenager in New York, and they go out for dinner with some magazine people, and this one guy, and I think that's the point, is that it's an older guy, so he's older, so he's got superiority age-wise, he's a man, so he's got superiority sex-wise, and he's sort of a renowned literary figure. So all of those things give him superiority, and he eats salad with his hands. But the point in the passage is that he does it with such confidence that everyone's just like, oh, okay, that's how you eat salad. Not with a salad fork, right?
Definitely not.
Right. But there is a part of that I kind of agree with, because if you do something with gusto and with confidence, people will be like,
what kind of salad is he eating?
I believe it is a Caesar salad, but it may be a Waldorf salad.
So if you do something with gusto and confidence, what are people?
Yeah. Well, people will just be like, oh, I am in awe of this person, right?
Yeah,
and even though they're using the wrong salad fork, actually,
or not a salad fork at all.
Right, in this case.
But what if you've got dressing on it and croutons and shit? That's going to go everywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't. But I mean, that was the point, right? Is that this geezer did not give a shit, and it was with that confidence. Anyway, whenever
this is what's wrong with the world is that
no, it's not.
Shit.
No, it's not, because there was a part of me whenever I'm at a posh silver service kind of I do have that. I mean, maybe this just reveals more about me than about the world,
right?
But there is a part of me that's like, yeah, fuck it. If I do this with enough confidence, people aren't going to be judging me for being such an oaf, such a commoner. They're going to be like, wow, look at this chick. She can really rock a salad without a salad fork. Anyway, so that's one kind of etiquette, and that isn't really the etiquette that I.
Well, so that is. But it is a kind of etiquette, isn't it? It's and as you say, it's very much differentiating between the class. It's oh my god, you don't know how to
that's all
you don't know which fork to use.
In my opinion,
that is a bit of a snobbery kind of etiquette. However,
that's all that etiquette is.
I do like. For me, I mean, I don't do it all the time. I'm one of these people that does this fork work? Yeah, it works, so I'm going to use it. But if I go to a nice restaurant, then I might adhere to the etiquette of, working the outside in, because it's part of the atmosphere. I enjoy it. It's nice. It's something that I don't normally do. Do you know, I learned once that, and I read it somewhere in a magazine, that, and I guess this is the flip side of it, and this not contradicts what I'm saying, but it goes to show how little people know of this now. So I read this article, and it was about when you finish your meal, you turn your fork to a 2 o'clock position away from you, so the handle is pointing 2 o'clock, which then tells the waiter, I finished my meal, it was lovely, regardless if there's fuck all on your plate. I mean, that tells you finished the meal anyway. But what fucking waiters in this world, in this day and age, know that? No fucker. So every time I do that, they still walk past me. They don't give a shit.
No, there's a different kind of etiquette going on there. But here's the thing. I would like to suggest that is protocol. And also, I would like to suggest that when people say etiquette in a more general sense, what they're saying is civility. There is a difference.
The 21st century definition of etiquette, is that what you're?
I suppose so. In this day and age. Because I think that there is a lot to be said for civility and for compassion in a sort of a protocol kind of way, right? So, for example, when you go to the cinema.
Oh, fucking hell, don't. I mean, that is the worst. That gets
there needs to be some civility, right?
Etiquette is the same thing as having respect for other people and your environment. Right. And people in the cinema don't give a shit anymore.
No.
And it winds me the fuck up.
And what winds me up more, I suppose, than people being fucking cunts is that the cinema themselves sell items.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
That are in plastic bags. Like, just don't do it. Look. Right? Popcorn in a box. I'm not really a massive fan of popcorn.
No, but it's become a traditional part of cinema.
But it's in a box, so it doesn't
do that
sound
scrunchy thing or anything like that. And to be fair, popcorn is soft enough, unless you're eating with your fucking mouth open, which if you do is poor fucking etiquette anyway.
Just fuck off, basically.
It's soft enough in a box. You're not crunching or anything like that. It's pretty silent as a snack.
And yet,
yep,
they sell popcorn in bags.
Pre-bagged popcorn.
Why are you doing this?
They sell pre-bagged popcorn while you've got a massive fucking tub of normal popcorn.
I don't fucking understand it. I don't understand any of it. If they were only selling butter-kissed toffee popcorn in a bag, maybe I would understand it. But
my view on cinema etiquette.
Yeah.
And this, you might disagree.
Well.
But if it was up to me,
we'd shoot everyone.
Well, yes, and I would have the cinema all to myself.
Yes, please.
I would ban food and drink from cinema.
I don't disagree because look, what's the longest film you've seen? I mean, they're getting longer now, and
they are. But
what's the longest? What's the longest?
About 3.5 to 4
3 hours. Let's say 3 hours, right? I
can sit and talk to you for 3 hours and not have to get up to go to the wee, not eat or whatever. Fine.
If you can't go for 3 hours without shoving some shit in your face,
exactly.
and I ain't a skinny girl, it's not me saying this from a sort of anorexic point of view, right?
Yeah.
I'm being very generous here.
Yeah.
If you can't go for 3 hours without putting something in your fucking gob, you should not go to the fucking cinema. The cinema is not the place to eat food.
No.
Eat before, afterwards.
No. And then these people, and they turn up with a fucking meal. It's like almost a meal now. It's nachos and hot dogs and
I went to the Everyman Cinema once.
Yeah. Was it a lovely one with like the lovely sofas and stuff like that? Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it cost.
They have like little side tables, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but like, look, I don't know. Maybe I'm just revealing some sort of austere side of my personality. If I want to sit on a sofa with a side table and eat a 3-course meal, I'd stay at home.
Yeah.
The point of the fucking cinema is the massive screen, right? And the great sound, which I don't have in my own home.
Yeah.
Okay? Because even if you have surround sound and a big, like, it's still not going to be a cinema unless we're rich, which we're not. So
I've never been to anyone's house
but you know,
who's
like,
got all the surround fucking system going on, and they go, "Oh, listen to this." I've never been there going and thought to myself, "My God, it feels like I'm in a cinema." Never.
No. And I've been to some fancy houses.
Your sound systems are shit in comparison. Let's be honest.
Of course,
which is why you want to go to the cinema,
right?
And have
this is my point.
Different experience. I don't need some prick sitting next to me crunching away when I'm listening to a fucking
and looking
interesting
at
bit of dialogue. Do you know what? And the thing is, it's bled into theatre as well, which really fucking annoys me, because it's all well and good disrespecting the art form when you're watching it in the cinema, and you're trying, and it's not even disrespecting the actors or the director or anyone involved in the film, because let's be honest, they ain't gonna have a fucking clue if someone's chatting cinema. They ain't got a clue.
No, more than anything,
disrespecting the people that come to see it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But in the theatre, when you've got people actually on stage working, it's like if you were in a meeting with your manager or something and she constantly looked at her phone, it's like, what's the point? Why am I here? And that's what you want the actors to say. She's like, and they have done. There's been articles where,
and I applaud them.
Yeah, I do.
Applaud
fucking
them.
Yeah, too right. But then the theatre's as guilty as well, because it's money making. There's some theatres now, plays and shows, where you're allowed to take food in, and it's like, what the fuck? Again, and it's not even 3 hours, is it? Because you ain't going to miss nothing, because it's about an hour and a half each half, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to wait an hour and a half to have a wee or eat something.
No, I know.
Oh, it's so,
I know.
I mean, the amount of arguments we've had in cinemas, because then they'll let any fucker into cinema. I've always, if I ever won the lottery, I've always wanted to open my own cinema. There used to be an old-fashioned cinema in Gravesend Town Centre, and the facade of it is still there. But
which is lovely.
It got burnt down and it's all boarded up now. So the inside got burnt down, so all you've got is the facade. I would get, if money was not an option, I would get the blueprints. I would rebuild it to what it was and reopen it as a local cinema. So
that sounds amazing.
Of like an everyman thing. But you know what I would do? Unlike any other cinema, and I think this is something that
you'd be like,
food. Nah. I would have bouncers. I would have bouncers.
And do you know what?
They wouldn't be cinema staff, as in your guys in their little shirts and waistcoats and all that crap. They would be bouncers, and they would be doing what they do, but they would stay in that cinema. They would stay in that screen for all of the film. And if anyone started fucking talking or chatting or getting the phone out, they'd ask them to put it down. If they carried on, they'd be asked to leave. They would treat it as
I approve of this.
Thank you.
I approve very much. Wholeheartedly.
That is what I would do.
Okay, look, my friend can't go for like an hour and a half without having a cigarette. So she will get up and go for a cigarette at what she considers to be act 2 of the performance. And I'm like, can't you just wait? Yeah. All of us, if you can't, then maybe you need to not go to the cinema and piss everyone else off.
Yeah. Do you know what? Don't waste your time. Do you know what?
People are inconsiderate.
They are.
People are inconsiderate. I'm not suggesting that this particular person is, but But overall, people are just inconsiderate. They only think of their own needs and wants in the moment.
Yeah.
So,
As long as I'm all right, Jack. There's too much of that
yes,
attitude nowadays. As long
absolutely.
as I'm all right,
Yeah,
Jack, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
care
yeah,
about everyone. And unfortunately,
yeah.
that bleeds into everywhere. I mean,
Yes,
cinema,
yeah. No,
one of
that's
them.
true.
And do you know what? I don't frequent the cinema as much as I used to. I used to
No,
love
and
going to the cinema, and
yeah.
I go for the exception. I want to see a Marvel film straight away before it.
Mm,
I need to see it, and
mm.
sometimes I have to
No, I
endure
love the
a prick.
cinema.
Like last time when I went to see Avengers Endgame, like this is the big one for me. It's 10 years of storytelling to a
Jesus Christ.
climax, and we still had some fucker bring in their baby.
Oh,
Like,
fuck
what the fuck?
off.
Again, why are cinemas letting
No, I know, and they have special nowadays. They have special baby sessions,
yeah, which is fine.
and that's not to say that once you've had a baby you can't do anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want
No, but be
people.
sensible. Get a
No, of
babysitter. Or do you
course,
know what? If you can't
yeah.
find a babysitter, then you chose to have a child. Suck it up and go, well, we ain't going to the cinema anymore.
No, I
It's as
know.
simple as that. Like, it's as easy as
I
that.
I know, and it sounds really harsh and or
But it's not.
whatever,
I mean,
but I
I
don't.
want to have
No, I don't
children.
think it. Yeah, no,
I'd love
I
to have
know.
children. And when I
For
get,
God knows
well,
why.
but when it gets to that point, and I can't physically go to the cinema because just on that occasion,
And also, it
I'd
will
either
only be for a
wait.
little minute, right?
Oh, mate, do you know what I mean? It's not forever, but people are like, oh, no,
No.
I can do what I like. I'm taking my baby with me. It's my child. They can't say anything. No, do you know what? My bouncers and my cinema will be like, I'm sorry, we don't allow babies.
Also, right, and I know this is going to sound a little bit weird, but if the film is, say, I I don't know what the cinema ratings are anymore because I'm an old lady and it doesn't matter.
What
But
are you thinking? What are you
let's
thinking?
say they're 15 and 18. I
Yeah,
don't know
that still
because
goes. That
there's like
still goes.
PG 12 and
There's
there's like,
PG.
yeah,
There's 12 and 12A, isn't there? So
but there's
12A.
PG 12.
No, there's 12 and there's 12A. So 12A.
Anyway,
Anyone
apart from
that's young.
you,
Then
yeah,
anyone
apart
that's younger
from
than 12 can go if there's an adult with them.
yeah, okay, but let's say you're watching a 15 or whatever the
Yeah,
equivalent is
yeah.
nowadays, yeah.
15.
I don't know. I don't know. A baby isn't old enough,
No, exactly.
regardless
Yeah. There's
of
an age
that,
range
right?
there.
So,
Yeah, but
like,
their
there is an age
attitude. Do
restriction.
you know what the response will be to that? It'll be like, "Oh,
Ah,
it's
they don't
only a
understand.
baby. They
They
don't
don't
understand."
understand. Yeah, exactly. So they shouldn't
Yeah,
have to fucking
yeah,
come.
yeah.
They
So
shouldn't be allowed.
my bouncers would be like, "No, you don't understand. The child is not coming in, and neither are you. So you can come and see this film, but you have to take the child home first."
And I agree.
So I
All
don't want
right.
no
So
eating, no
so
fucking
our
babies,
cinema.
no drinking. I
Okay,
want to
but
sit for
okay,
3 hours.
the
I'm
eating
watching a
thing
film.
though. Okay, but the eating thing.
Mm.
No, wait. Here's the thing. I really enjoy getting pick and mix before the movie, and I eat all of my
But
pick and
that
mix.
rattles as well, doesn't
No,
it? The
wait,
paper
wait,
bag.
wait, wait. I eat all of the pick and mix whilst the trailers are happening.
Yeah, but that's you, Vicky. I can't trust everyone to be like you.
That's
The only
true.
thing I will out, if
You
they want
can't
food,
trust.
they will have popcorn, and that will be it. It's quite simple, popcorn. And do you know what? I'll be nice. You can have a Coke as well, popcorn and a drink.
Thanks.
But
Thanks.
the reviews will come back and they will say, "Oh, this cinema, not a lot of choice in confectionery," and I'll be like, "Yes, that's correct. We like to keep it simple.
Well, but the point of the cinema anyway is the
It's the
fucking
film."
film.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, cinema
I
is
agree.
just one thing. It's like what we were saying. Fucking just respect for others. It's just that's etiquette, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem generally is that audiences are the worst and they have bad taste.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in general.
I mean, have you ever been to a theatre and yeah, again, it's live actors. They're on stage and you're
I
listening,
know.
and people sit next to you and they're going, "Oh, that's funny because blah 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 blah." Do you remember earlier on? Like, I don't need a
Mate,
commentary on it. I don't need
no.
commentary on it. Like,
I
by the way,
worked in a
do you know,
theatre for a little bit.
oh,
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
I mean, I do like audience interaction in a theatre and a cinema when you go to see a comedy or you go to see a horror film and everyone jumps or laughs at the same time and everyone's in unison, but it's because they're in it. They're in the film, they're in the show, in the moment. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
And I went to see Bottom live once.
So did I at Hammersmith.
Yeah. I went to Hammersmith.
I went to see, what one did you see? I saw Hooligans Island.
I went to see Hooligans Island.
Amazing. Yes. Can you imagine? We might have even been.
Hopefully. That would be so
funny. It was so funny.
And I watched the video of Bottom One live.
Live
over
one.
And over again. Yeah.
Over
and over again when I was off school.
Yeah.
And the best bits of it are when they break and they talk to the audience.
Yeah, when one of the audience like shouts out or something.
Yeah, have a wank.
Yeah.
And he's like, have a wank. Yeah. And I just, those are the best bits of that. But that lends itself to that kind of theatre.
Yeah,
right?
if you're watching an Oscar Wilde play, don't shout out, have a wank. Course.
I went to see Upstart Crow.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the David Mitchell, Ben Elton endeavour. And I don't know if I think I did tell you, but I've been having terrible headaches. I've had headaches for 5 months. Yeah. And so at one point in the play, I was like, the screen looks a bit funny. And then I was like, it's a play, there's not a screen. So I had to like rub my eyes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going through some physiological things. So I had a terrible headache. And so I was like sort of holding my head a bit. But there was a little bit of coughing. And nowadays, obviously, like now, currently, I think, oh, fuck, maybe they had COVID-19. But of course, at the time, I was just like, oh, there's a bit of coughing. Because there's always a bit of coughing. Why is it that theatres sound like tuberculosis wards? Don't they?
Silent. Yeah, but everything's silent, and you're more aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, but like, how often do you cough? Would you say on an average day?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Maybe but maybe 3 times.
Yeah, but I could probably say to you, when I went to see that show, I coughed fucking 5 times because you're more aware, aren't you?
No, do you know what it is? I read an article.
Go on.
This is how many weird articles I read in a week. Because we're such tribal animals as human beings, if someone coughs or someone laughs or someone cries or whatever, and we notice it, we're much more likely to cough or laugh or cry.
Yeah.
And I think that's true because I watch a lot of comedy by myself.
Yeah.
Very rarely
I don't laugh at all.
Laugh. No.
Yeah, no. I think it's great.
Every now and then I might laugh.
Yeah, but I won't.
And then I know it's good.
I won't sit and watch, and it'll be something that I've seen, before, and that I've watched with friends, and we've all laughed together. Yeah, you're right. You're so right. But I could quite happily sit and watch it in the living room on my own, and still enjoy it. I mean, I rewatch Red Dwarf all the time, and I still find it funny, but I don't laugh out loud.
No,
all the laughs internal now
because it's a sociological indicator to everybody else.
Yeah.
Like societally, that I find this funny. I find this funny too. Oh, I find it funny, and so we're going to make a verbal noise.
Yeah, canned laughter.
But that's true, isn't it? Because there are some things that I watch.
This joke's supposed to be funny.
I mean,
we'll chuck
there are some
laughter.
things that I watch that have got canned laughter, and you're like, that sounds ridiculous.
Oh, because it's really bad canned laughter. That's
yeah.
Why.
Do you think that's why?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's just because
I think a lot of that's to do with editing. Because there are programs that I've watched and not realised they were canned laughter until I've read up on them. And they're edited well, but there's some others that are just like, nah, like proper kind of download and then there are things that
I've watched without canned laughter, but it originally had canned laughter, and you're like, it's very, very weird. Yeah, oh, it's so weird.
Because I wonder whether that makes Mrs. Brown's Boys any better.
Oh, fucking Mrs. Brown's Boys, which was the most popular show over Christmas 2015.
Listen, the people that like Mrs. Brown's Boys are the people that have got fucking bad etiquette.
People that like Mrs. Brown's Boys
are the people that go to Toby Carvery.
Are the people that I don't want to socialize with in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And in a way, it's a really great. It's a really great like test point for me, because I'm like, so what do you think about Mrs. Brown's Boys? And they'll say,
"Oh, what a great show!
Oh, it's fucking great!" And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to speak to you ever again in my life. Bye.
Thank you for your time.
This has been a great interview, but
we won't be taking your friendship requests forward."
Yeah, I mean, because my friendship is so highly rated.
Yeah, but it's Mrs. Brown's Boys, for fuck's sake.
Oh, but mate, and you know what's funny is
not that.
No. No, but for real, no. But I really hate it. I watched a whole episode, right? Because it's not the dragging up thing that I haven't a problem with. I really love Lily Savage, for example.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, Lily Savage was fucking great.
She was big.
Oh yeah, my dad and I loved that. She used to do a thing, or he used to do a thing on Channel 4. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
I love Paul O'Grady. I love Lily Savage.
Yeah.
So it's not the crudeness, although I don't really like crude comedy. But I like Bottom. That's quite crude, for example. Yeah. It's just shit. It's just lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but apparently it does very well.
Yeah, but all that proves to me is that most people are fucking pricks.
Yeah.
Which
then goes back to the etiquette thing. Is that there's two types of etiquette, isn't there? There's the class etiquette, and there's the etiquette about politeness.
Yes, I agree. And and then I was talking to a lot of Irish people that I know, and I was like, "Oh, do you like Mrs. Brown's Boys?" And they were like, "No," because the dude that does Mrs. Brown, I don't care enough.
Even look Brendan it up. Something. Or...
Yeah, you're right. It is Brendan something. Yeah. That apparently he does something on, I don't know, RTE or something. It's the only channel I can name in Ireland.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's not that great. And I'm like, okay, good. We can still be friends.
Do you know that he did, before the sitcom, he produced a serious movie about Mrs. Brown, which starred Angelica Houston as Mrs. Brown.
What? Yeah. The fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
James, you need to speak for the next 25 minutes.
I mean, I've never seen that. I've never seen that film. But I do know that.
I've never heard of this, so because you need to tell me everything.
A lot of it is either based on his grandmother or his mother. It's based on like the concept of it. The idea of it is based on what he...
Yeah, an Irish mammy, and that's great. Yeah. Because an Irish mammy is a Spanish mum too.
But there was a serious version of it. I know.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's my Saturday night sorted. I'm going to be fucking
looking up that. You're going to locate that, yeah.
I will.
You'll probably find it funnier than the sitcom, to be honest.
Oh, probably. It's just so fucking crass. Yeah. That's the thing, I suppose. It's the crassness.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it's not that I'm so intellectual or elite or
Yeah, I know.
It's not that. I don't want to come across as somebody who's like, oh well, I only watch comedies that are like really niche and on BBC 4 at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Like, I'm not that kind of person.
I mean, we watched Bond, for fuck's sake. We watched Bond, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because that's fucking clever. And you want an Irish comedy that's good, watch Father Ted, watch Derry Girls.
Yeah.
Watch anything else that comes out of fucking Ireland. Like, Mrs. Brown's Boys is the worst. And I can't cope with how bad it... Like, it's not even that it's bad. It's just, it's not funny. It's crass. It just makes me feel physically ill.
Yep.
And I'm sorry about that. And maybe if Tommy Tiernan was in it, then I'd like it. But he's not. So I don't. Oh, I fucking hate it so much.
I know.
And I speak about it so often.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
About how much you hate it.
Yeah, and I tell people, do you know it was the best Christmas, it was the most watched Christmas thing. And it was the most watched Christmas thing in 2015 and also in 2018, like quite recently.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, fuck you guys.
You thought it had gone, but now it came back.
Yeah, it really did. And I just don't understand it. Even my mum hates it, and she likes some shit. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, I don't understand. It's funny because he's a man, and I'm like, I think so. And listen, Spanish comedy is fucking shit, and it's all men dressing up as women and being quite shrill. So, you know, you would think that she would be on board with Mrs. Brown's Boys. She's just like, nice, not funny.
Well,
he's a man. I'm like, yep. And he's not funny. Yep. I don't understand. Me neither, Mum. I'm sorry. I'm out. I'm out too. I'm out. It's so. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to the people that are involved in it. Like I wish them
that
the
you
best
shit on it so much. I mean, if we're talking about politeness,
but you know that I'm very polite, and I wish them the best, and I hope that all of those people involved get paid very well. And
I think they do.
Of course, right? Like they are remunerated.
I don't think they care what we think.
No.
To be honest,
no, absolutely not, and that's great, and that's fine. But I do think, oh fucking hell,
yeah.
Just very briefly, I wanted to give some pointers, I suppose, for audience etiquette. So I've written about this before.
Okay.
But it's cinema etiquette and
specifically
specifically, but it applies to theatres too a little bit. Okay. But here's just a quick rundown of what I think you need to do. Okay.
Yep.
So point number 1, shut the fuck up.
Of course, we don't want no chatting.
I think you agree. No.
We went to see Disney's A Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah.
A few years ago, the animated one with Jim Carrey, and two kids came in and were sitting in front of us and talking on their phones. 2 girls, but they must have been about 13. But you know the type of 13-year-old nowadays who thinks that they're 17. You know, that kind of...
I do.
You know, and in the end, me and Hayley both, you know, said to them, look, we're trying to watch the film. And it makes me laugh because we had the same thing with a year or 2 ago when we went to see the new Grinch. Like, me and Hayley went together as couples. The
Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Yeah.
Isn't that a good film?
It's amazing. I mean, I love the Grinch anyway. I love the story.
Yeah, me too.
But that and the Christmas Carol, you've got 2 grown adults going to watch it and having to have a go at people because they're chatting. But it's like, again, it doesn't matter if it's a kid's film. It's a film.
No, it doesn't. Exactly.
Like, fuck up. If you're not a child, unless you're a child who's talking because they're so into the film and something's happened and they're like, oh my God, then I'd be like, do you know what? I was like that once, you crack on. But if you're in there on your phone, chatting away,
just shut the fuck up.
You're only in there because there's nowhere else to go. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There are plenty of places to go.
Shut the fuck up is a good.
So yeah, rule number 1, shut the fuck up. Rule number 2, please turn off all mobile devices.
Yeah, we don't even want fucking lights going on.
I don't want no vibration mode.
No. I don't want to see someone's screen lit up in the corner of my eye. Listening to a fucking heartfelt speech from a Steven Spielberg masterpiece.
In the corner, far away in the distance.
Yeah. Where no one. Yeah, and no one thinks they can see you. And you're like, no, we can fucking see you. We're in a dark room. Yeah, we're in the darkest room known to man.
Right.
Fucking hell.
And all I can see is your bullshit text message.
Yeah.
Fucking put that shit away.
Yeah. They should go back to how it was when it first started. All cinema screens should be shit signal in there. Because nowadays the signal is amazing. You can get a signal anywhere now.
That is true.
But yeah, do that. Turn your fucking phone off.
Also, don't Google what that actor was in right this second. No, wait until you leave. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait until you leave.
Don't give me this bullshit about I'm not going to remember what his name was.
You could just remember.
Because you wait until the fucking end when you see the credits.
Yes. Wait until the credits. Hey, listen. At the credits. Hey.
Do what you like.
Do what you like. It's finished now. I might be sitting here waiting for the end credits. It's fine.
No.
That's my own business.
The movie is done.
You could, and you're more than I'm more than happy to wait. For this point, and then everyone can bring their phones out and start chatting to their mums and tell them what they just saw. Chris.
Same with the theatre though.
Yeah.
If you see an actor in the programme that you know,
oh, who's this?
Fucking Google in the intermission. Don't do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And don't clap at the end of the movie. We're in.
See, I have to disagree with you on this.
All right.
So there's a thing that I was reading, and it's Victorian etiquette for theatre.
Okay.
It was a breakdown of what a gentleman must adhere to at the theatre, and one of them is applause is the just due of the deserving actor and should be given liberally. Applaud by clapping the hands and not by stamping or kicking with the feet. So, yeah, if they believe that
in the Victorian times, though, it would have been the theatre.
Yeah.
Which is different because they are people who were there.
Yes. They are of the noblesse.
In the movie, but in a movie, they're not there.
No, but there is a sense of camaraderie, a sense of...
Yes.
Like, I went, and of all the films... I mean, I've seen better films, although I do love this film. I went to see The Amazing Spider-Man, and afterwards, they fucking clapped their heads off.
I've been to the cinema where I have been...
And I like that.
Clap. Yeah. No, that's true.
People clapped at Avengers. People are in it. And I like that. Clap for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Clapping is acceptable.
Okay. All right. That's the thing. Clap for the right reasons.
If some cunt's just clapping for the sake of it.
Yeah, no. Fuck that. Fuck that geezer.
Yeah.
If you have tuberculosis,
yep,
or some other coughing disease, like COVID-19,
yes,
currently,
then don't be going to the cinema.
Well, you can't because everything's on lockdown.
They're closed.
Yeah, right. But outside of COVID-19. Maybe don't go to the cinema if you are recovering from tuberculosis or pneumonia or some sort of coughing disease, because the amount of times I've been to the theatre in particular, where it's much more problematic than the cinema, and people are coughing like we're on some sort of tuberculosis ward, it's just too much, frankly.
Yeah.
It's like, mate.
Yeah,
I know that you need. I know that and I know that you need some fun times, and that's great, and I applaud that. But
I just think if that was me, I wouldn't go.
No,
I just wouldn't go. I'd be like, no, I don't want to. I actually would think I don't want to piss off anyone else.
And this is where I think that civility and politeness fall into a different category to sort of class etiquette, right?
Yes, definitely.
Because you and I are very self-aware, and we're thinking of others, and it is a self-awareness, isn't it? Where we're like, I feel okay, and I can live in the real world, but maybe I've got a little bit of a tickly cough, and it might piss others off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to maybe decline the invite to the whatever it is, right? To the social engagement, where others are like, well, I feel fine now. I've got a bit of a cough, but fuck it. It's not going to affect me. And that's where I feel like I get annoyed with others, because it's like, you know that you've got a fucking cough. Why don't you have the foresight to go, I might ruin others' evenings? They don't think about that.
No, they don't. They don't.
No.
What we were saying earlier on, there's this culture now of, well, I'm all right, Jack.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest problems.
Right. Yeah.
And I won't just say in the UK, I'll say in the world. One of the biggest problems nowadays is there's this massive culture of people that just like, well, I'm all right, it doesn't affect me, so bollocks to you. You know, I mean, there's etiquette, and is something which is actually, I mean, you say the word etiquette and straight away you think of silly things like, as you said, like what fork to be eating some particular food with. But etiquette is all around, all the time. It goes from that class thing to simple things like leaving enough room outside when you park up your car so your neighbour can get in, and not being the prick that decides to park and take up 2 spaces, knowing full well that other people live in the area. It's all little things like that. I mean, you could probably tell that that's a personal...
No, but you're absolutely right.
You know, it's getting on a train or a tube.
What I meant was
with a baby on board badge, and no fucker gets up for him. And you're like, well, I'm standing up. If I didn't have and then having to.
And I suppose what I meant was that I don't want it to be a conversation about that classist etiquette.
No, and
I mean it. Really. I mean it to be.
You know, there are 2 different kinds.
It to be. Yes, yeah.
But fundamentally, all we spoke about is that politeness kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. It's civility. Yeah. It's trying to treat other people the way that you wish to be treated, and
get out of this "I'm all right, Jack" culture.
Oh, fuck me! You know, I'm a fucking socialist, so I don't like that "I'm all right, Jack" culture, because I think it's disgusting, and I think it diminishes humanity in a lot of ways, because
we're all in this together.
Of course,
together.
And this being life, not coronavirus,
not just everything, you know, just life in general. I'd say that if we didn't have this COVID-19
no, but I want to make that clear, right? That we are all in this together. The only things that we are sure of is that we were born, we are living, we will die. These are the only things that we are 100% sure of.
Everyone comes from different lives and different
but that doesn't
life
mean you need to be a prick about it.
No, exactly. You know, like, it's just being nice.
Like, how hard is that?
And we've said this before. We say this all the time. Every time we have a conversation, we say, "What the fuck? Why are people just not nice?" You know. But they're not.
And so I even like diminish it to, okay, if you can't actively be nice, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know? Just don't actively be a dick. Just be like, not a dick. How can you do that?
It's just that consideration of other people.
But the thing is, James, is some people, they don't realise that they're being so selfish, and they don't realise that they're being so unself-aware.
Very true.
And it takes a lot to remember that, I suppose. But also, you know, I
that's
tried
not.
to.
We're not saying that we're perfect people. We're not saying.
Oh, fucking far from it.
We're just acknowledging the fact that we are self-aware people. I think to an extent.
But I think I'm super self-aware. I think you're self-aware. I think that most of my friends tend to be self-aware. Some of them are less self-aware than others.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, some of my friends are like, you're more self-aware than literally anybody I've ever met. And I'm like, and that's why I'm mentally ill, but okay. I do think it's problematic in my life. The level of self-awareness that I have is too much.
Do you think it's part of the kind of trying to please everyone else, or do you think it bleeds into that, or do you think it's, being self-aware? It doesn't necessarily have to be trying to please everyone else, but sometimes it can become that.
Yeah, it can. I don't think that's my problem. I think my problem is that I'm not a massive fan of myself, and that's just something that I need to talk to a therapist about, but I can't afford it. So yeah, I don't really know, actually. It's an interesting question, and something that I'm probably think about now that we're on lockdown.
Hopefully I can be your therapist during this time.
Yeah, no, that would be great. That would be great. And cheaper. So that's
definitely
even better.
Yeah.
And these podcasts are a good sort of therapy sessions, where I talk about things that I wouldn't not necessarily ordinarily talk to you about things, but it's like a wider audience, but it's a very niche audience. It's very exciting.
But I mean, also, I think we do talk about this kind of stuff.
Yes, we do, but with a different angle, right?
Yeah.
So, and also it's a different angle because you're a bloke and you're a friend of mine who is quite a new friend, although we've known each other for a long time now, actually.
Yeah, it must be about 5 years or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Must be
maybe 6.
5, 6 years.
But like all of my other friends, all of my other male friends are from way back.
Way back.
Way
back when.
So yeah, oh, God, when I was fun.
When I was 21.
When I was just a little girl, I told my mother,
what will I be?
And she said, I did this to my mum once.
And your mum said, what?
I said, Mum, what will I be? She said, what? And I said, like that song, Que sera, sera. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, you know that song? Fucking mum, you know that song? I told my mother, what shall I be? Will I be famous? Will I be rich? And she said, I don't know. I said,
wow.
I said, well, I want something a little bit more insightful from you. She said, I don't know, but probably very annoying. I said, okay, thanks, Mum. Thanks, Mum.
She was either
she said, I
very
don't know.
profound, or she killed it.
Well, both.
Or both.
She killed it. She killed it, and she was profound.
Yeah.
She
again.
My mum does tarot cards, but like Spanish tarot cards.
Okay.
And she rang me the other day, and she said, "Hello, Vicky. How are you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right, Mum. I'm a bit bored, and I'm at work because it was like, I don't know, 2:00 or something." And she said, okay, you're coming tomorrow? I said, well, listen, I've been thinking I'm only going to come around on a Sunday because I don't want to expose you guys to the virus. And, I'm just really paranoid and really anxious. And, I'm just really worried, Mum. So maybe I'll just come around every Sunday. And she said, okay, I understand, darling. It's okay. I said, okay. But, you ring me whenever you want to, okay? You know my number, and I'm always here. I'm always at the other end of a phone. So
even with this lockdown, there's still etiquette involved. I mean, the lockdown thing itself is a big thing when it comes to etiquette, because when you've still got people ignoring the the advice.
We had social norms.
We had a group of people out on we've got a nice bit of green at the front of our house, I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do remember.
Big bit of green.
I think that's why I think Gravesend's really green.
Oh, okay. Just because of that patch. But we had a group turn up on Easter Monday, and they weren't, without sounding snobby at all, they were not neighbours. They weren't part of the conservation area of where I live. They were from a different part of Gravesend.
Scumbags. Oh, right. Yeah.
And they were drinking, they were smoking.
Yeah.
They were all together close. They were smoking things that weren't just tobacco.
Were they smoking marijuana?
They were, which I don't mind. I like it. But
I dislike it.
They were drinking and they were spitting and stuff.
Dude, I hate that.
But they were all sitting there really close, and we were like, they can't be doing this. Like at the moment, with everything that's going on and save the NHS and stuff, they're fucking idiots. They can't do this. And then it turned out that we phoned the police. A few of the neighbours phoned the police.
All right.
But by the time that the police kind of responded, they'd gone. They said, if it happens again, phone us. Funnily enough, it happened again.
Oh.
And we were like...
Exciting.
Oh, I was like, phone it. I'm going to phone it back because, we really wanted to, not see them.
Yeah, well...
But we wanted them to...
But they need to learn. They need to be told, right?
Yeah. I phoned them again, and again, the group wandered off before. On the first time, we think they may have seen me on the phone from the bedroom window because as they were walking off, they were shouting, call the feds, won't even fucking be here by then, will we? Nah. So they might have done. I don't give a shit.
Can I just say something? I fucking hate it when English people say
feds.
The feds.
Yeah,
because we do not have federal police.
Yeah.
Cops is fine, I suppose.
I mean, yeah.
But feds, it's like, come on. It's like 5-0. You're going to chat to the 5-0.
Yeah. But then Hayley kind of got all panicky in case they come back. And I said, look, they're not going to come back. They were so gobby that they would quite happily knock on the door.
They're the sort of people who would watch Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Exactly. So go fucking back home and watch Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yeah.
So, and I said to Hayley, like, I'm not being funny, but that little bit of green that surrounds all the houses on this little crescent, that's our land. That's for neighbours and for the elderly people that live on this street and the people that have dogs when they can't get out anywhere because our gardens are really small and they need a little bit of daily exercise
Bigger
for their
than
health
mine.
and well-being. Well, yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not.
No.
Some people haven't got, but you know what I mean. In this area, for a bit.
It is yours, yeah. I understand that.
Health and well-being during this time. That green is a bit of exercise, and some of the kids play on it and stuff. And if you've got people that we don't even know, it's like spitting and stuff. I don't know.
No, spitting I fucking hate.
Fair, they shouldn't be
spitting. Frankly, in my New World Order, you will be shot.
Yeah, and the thing
you'll be shot. I hate.
None of them were like 2 meters away.
I hate spitting.
Or anything.
No, I fucking hate spitting. I hate spitting so much.
After part 2 of them being there,
I
then got a phone call the next day. And it was a guy, and he was like, hello, this is the PSO of Gravesend. And it was one of the
police community support officers. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hello. And he was like, oh, yeah, it's just calling in regards to the reports you've been putting in. It turned out he was at my front door. So I opened the living room window and we had a chat with him. Well, I did. I had a chat with him about it. And he said he'd already spoken to the neighbours that had called. And he kind of wanted to reiterate everything I said about that group and stuff. And he said, well, I patrol around here. If they turn up again, he actually gave me his number. And he said, if they turn up again, let me know. And if I'm in the area, I'll come up and have a word.
Okay.
Which I thought was really nice. And weirdly, about half hour later, they turned up. I called him. And then there's me and Hayley sitting at the corner of the window, so you can barely see us watching. And we saw this PSO come out of nowhere and just walk onto the green. and he had a go at them. Funnily enough, the gobshites that were all quite happy to shout, the feds and fuck you, she didn't say fuck all while he was saying. They put their head
bet they fucking didn't.
As soon as, reprimanded, they and you could see he was saying to them, basically, but in this current time, we're not supposed to be having groups of people together. You've got other people to consider, and he's right. You've got other people to consider. It's not all about you, for fuck's sake.
No, exactly, and that's the thing, right?
I know that was a bit of a long-winded story, but that's my point. It's not all about you.
It's not all about you. So, near me, I've got several parks and a cemetery, and I'm quite lazy. I think I've said that in the past. So I'm quite happy to just sit in my flat. I mean, it's very boring for me, sure. And I would really like to have a garden, but more than anything, I miss hanging out with my mates. It's not.
Yeah, sure.
It's it's not about me getting out and about. It's more about me hanging out with my mates
and being in the same room.
So yeah. So and like being able to hug people. So there's like the Paddington Cemetery is right. Like 2-minute walk from me, and then there's Grange Park, which is a park.
Yeah.
And then Queen's Park is like a 10-minute walk from me. And I get these like email feeds and Twitter feeds and stuff about like, oh, all these people are going to these places and they're having barbecues and they're sitting in the sunshine. And I'm like, yeah, you see, I don't understand that, because if it was me, I would just want to sit on a bench and just be in the sunshine, right?
Yeah.
But these people are like, I don't know.
I know what you mean. They're getting
caught in controversy or something, right?
Yeah, but is that because they're in, like, I mean, for instance, the people that are outside ours, they were in a group, but they were in a group as if there wasn't this wasn't going on. They were like shoving people. They were like jumping on each other. They were
exactly. So, but it makes me.
It wasn't like you and me going out to the park and sitting on a bench at
2 meters apart.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like that.
Exactly. So it makes me sort of paranoid about. So I illegally go and visit my parents every Sunday, and on the way I do feel like, oh, maybe I should go and sit in a park for a second and just drink a Diet Coke. Like nothing controversial. Just sit for a minute. But then I don't want to be the sort of person that courts controversy. And
no, but we haven't been told we can't go out. That's the thing. We haven't been told we can't go out. We've told we can go out for exercise. That's true. What we've been told is that we can't be. We have to isolate. That's what we've been told. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but regardless of
I agree.
You don't need rules,
and it makes me.
You don't need things that are written down in black and white. You need some fucking common sense. And I'm sorry, but there's people out there that don't have common sense. Like we live in a time where I can't even hug my mum, and she'll come to the door, and I have to be 2 meters away. So don't then.
No,
it doesn't excuse a group of people.
It thumbs their noses at us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just common sense. And again, it goes back to what we said. I know.
And you know what makes me? It makes me sick, because people are like, yeah, but I'm 25, so I'm fine because I don't have any underlying health issues. And it's like, yeah, but maybe you do, and you will die. Yeah. And it's not just really bad. No.
It's not just about you. Just because you
I keep saying to my mum,
get it and give it to someone else who has got underlying health issues.
And I keep saying to my mum, and my mum's like, yeah, no, I know, darling, and I understand. And I say to my mum, I'm really anxious and I'm really worried, and I'm even really worried about going around once a week. But
because they're elderly as well, they kind of need to be looked after by
absolutely,
their kin, and stuff.
Yeah,
so sometimes you have to go over there.
Absolutely, and I don't hug them and I don't kiss them, and which is really hard actually, because even though I'm not an overly tactile person, but I've realized because of this, I really like hugging my friends. I really like hugging my parents, and I really like giving my parents a kiss and giving my friends a kiss on the cheek. And so the only sort of being that I've been able to like have any sort of tactility with is my dogs. And I fucking hug those bitches to the point that they're like, okay, Vicky, this is too much now. My dogs are like, fuck off, and I'm like, I love you so much.
No,
I love you.
Good.
And I kiss them on the fucking face, and I don't care. I mean, I never cared before, but oh Jesus, I love my dogs. And I love kissing, and I love hugging.
You know my
These
attitude on
that
animals.
I've learned.
You know my attitude on animals.
Yeah. Now that you've met Cesar Romero, you fucking love animals.
Yeah.
I mean, if I saw him, I would kiss his fucking face.
Of course you would, and he would love it. But you know, in a funny way, I've said this to you before, I trust animals more than I do people, because whether for whatever reason,
people are
animals,
cunts.
and animals have, and whether it is literally just because, right, if I'm nice to you, you'll feed me, whatever, I get more respect out of my cat than I do a lot of people that I've met in my life. And it goes back to what we were saying. I just think, have a bit of respect for other people. Fucking hell.
That's not either of the topics that we were talking about earlier. BT dubs.
What's that?
BT dubs.
What's that?
By the way.
Oh, you fucking, again, you are, I've no idea what you're talking about. So. BT dubs.
By the way.
Oh, dubs is in W.
Yeah.
See, and you're worried about being old. Fucking hell, I had no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, fuck up.
No idea. BT dubs.
You know, do you know N-Dubs? The band?
Yes.
From a while back.
Yeah.
So I had to explain to Susan, who's from NW8, that they were N-Dubs because they were from NW6.
Were they not? I didn't even know that. Were they not?
They're from Camden.
Were they not spelled?
N-Dubs.
Was it spelled NDUBZ?
Yeah, because of N-Dubs. Because of NW. Because they're from NW6. Oh, fuck off. Oh, James.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, James.
Okay, now.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness gracious me.
You're so cool.
No, I'm not.
You're so down.
I'm really not. I was never. I wasn't
fun.
Even ever down with the fun.
This has been a Head Full of Straw production of Vicky Goes On and On with Vicky Stokes and James Wells.
Oh, man. I feel exhausted.
No, I know.
You know?
That's how I feel all the time.